With the release of MLB The Show just around the corner, we are going to go over everything that you need to know about their Ultimate Team game mode, Diamond Dynasty. For the first time ever, the game series is no longer just an exclusive on PlayStation and will be available to Xbox and Xbox Series 1 players. And we are going to go over all the things that you guys might have been missing out on in all of the other Ultimate Teams. My name is Waifuju, and by the time this video is over, you're going to have a much better understanding of everything in Diamond Dynasty and how it's likely going to look going into MLB 21. Now, everything that we're going to be basing this video off of is going to be based off of MLB The Show 20. MLB The Show 21 is not out yet. We are still in pre-order, but we're going to have a pretty good idea of what everything is going to look like outside of the UI changes that the new season or the new game is going to bring. Before we get into all of the game modes that Diamond Dynasty has to offer and the different ways that you can play with the guys that you're going to collect, let's just go over a really brief intro into cards and stubs. So stubs are something that you can actually buy with physical currency or earn by playing moments or anything else in the game. Most things do get you stubs. They're pretty standard where 1,000 stubs equal $10 and so on. There are better deals as you buy more of them. And stubs do let you purchase players. They are actually the only currency available in Diamond Dynasty as of MLB The Show 20. And you can go into the community market and buy any cards of players that you would like with stubs, or you can go into the pack section and actually buy different packs. Right now, we have 2 special packs with headliners and then some of these other packs that were in last year's game. But what we're going to see on day 1 of MLB The Show 21 is these standard packs, where there's going to be 1 for 1,000, 10 for 10,000, 20 for 20,000, and 50 for 50,000. I actually think they're going to be a little bit more scaled than that. I think it's going to be 75,000 for 50 packs and more along those lines. But you're going to have these standard packs, and in these standard packs, you have odds to get different players in the game. I mentioned the different players in the game that you can get. We're going to move over to this collections part of the UI, and we're actually just going to show you some of the different players that you can in fact collect. So we're going to go to the Yankees. That's my favorite team. And as you can see, there is a black circle around some of these players. That represents their rank in their shield, right? So you have these guys with a black one. That means they are a common player. You have to have an overall of 64 or lower to be a common player in MLB The Show. You slide on over to Eric Kratz and all of these guys, and they are bronze shielded players. To be a bronze player, you need to be above 65 or below 75. Moving on to silver players in MLB The Show, you must be a 75 overall to a 79. This is what a pitcher's stats are going to roughly look like going in, and you'll see he has different stats for hits per 9, stamina, K per 9, balls per 9, home runs per 9, and all of those stats are accumulated into one big fat stat, which gives us 77 overall Zach Britton. Then we move over to gold. Gold is going to be from 80 to 84, and that is going to be slightly better cards. That's typically the more good players in the league are going to be 80s and above. And these are players, you can see their stats. Again, they kind of meld all the stats together, give us an overall, and we have a decent picture of who is better and who is not based off of these stats. And the one last group of cards that we have in the game, where a majority of the cards are going to be, and a majority of the content in this game is going to be the cards that you are going to want, especially as we move on later in the year, are these diamonds. We'll show off this 90 overall Aaron Judge. Again, he has that diamond badge in the top right corner with a 90 inside of it, showing that he is a 90 overall. This is actually considered a high diamond card. High diamond cards are slightly more rare to pull from packs. And then this Giancarlo Stanton is an 87 overall, and he is going to be a low diamond, which is slightly less rare if you indeed get a diamond player. It's important to note that throughout the season, there will be overall changes. This 87 Giancarlo Stanton could very easily become a 91 if he has a great season. If he doesn't play so well, he could very easily drop down to a gold or even a silver if he was playing that bad. But it all depends on how they are doing in real life in the actual MLB season. That is what you will be seeing referenced with their overalls. Alright, moving on from collections, we're going to get into all the fun stuff now. We're going to get into your team. And this is the team screen. You get to see everybody and where they play specifically, and you can move them around. You can switch them up. You can go wherever. If you hit X, you can go in and change wherever player you would like and put in whoever that you have available to you and put them in that position. And if you hit the right trigger, you actually get to see all of your pitching as well. This is the pitching screen. At the top, you'll have your 5 starters. You are giving 5 starters, and they have energy. As you can see right here, Clayton Kershaw has a little bit less energy. When you pitch a game, you lose energy, and it takes a couple of games still in your lineup to regain that energy. You can't switch out this Clayton Kershaw for this Max Scherzer and assume that it's going to gain its energy back. That is not how it works. You will need to still have it on your team to regain energy. And the same goes for relievers. As you can tell though, relievers do not have a full stamina bar. That is just based off of stats and how this 99 Kenley Jansen only has 26 stamina, so he is not going to be able to pitch as many innings as a typical starter would, where you have Tom Seaver with 122 stamina, where he can go a long time in a game. Going back to the offense, you have 5 bench spots that you can use for whatever you like. I typically like to run a backup catcher and then a bunch of lefties and righty hitters for whatever relievers my opponent might have for me. Some people run platoons where Trevor Story here is really good versus lefties, so they might run a shortstop that is great against righties just to balance it out. And then if you move to the right all the way over, you are able to pick up and move your players to change up the batting order. While we're on the topic of teams, there is another cool thing that you can do. If you go to customize team, you are actually able to fully edit and change your team uniforms. With just a couple of clicks, you are able to fully customize everything that your team will look like when they get out onto the diamond. These are my home uniforms that I had all year, and I absolutely love them. We'll go ahead and show you my away uniforms as well. Boom, there was the aways. You can do anything you want, really. There's a lot of customization options, and I am hoping that they're actually going to bring more in to MLB The Show 21. And the one last thing we're going to talk about on this screen is the created player. This is likely going to be very different with the addition of two-way players and the introduction of that into MLB The Show 21, but for now, you have a created player that you can come in and fully customize him exactly how you would in any other my player kind of situation type of a game. Fully customize him, make him lefty, make him righty, make him a switch hitter, and then you can make him whatever position you would like, and you can upgrade him in those positions based off of certain attributes and stats that you have done in game. And last but not least, we are going to talk about all of the different ways that you can use the teams and stubs and everything else that we just went over to play online and offline in Diamond Dynasty. And we're going to start off with the big one, ranked seasons. Here it is. This is the ranked game mode in online competitive play for MLB The Show. And they said they're likely going to change it just a little bit, but as a baseline, this is still a pretty good way to look at it. You play games and you have a record, and after every game you are giving rating points. As your rating goes up, you are likely to play better players. As your rating goes down, you are likely to play less good players. As you move up in the ratings, you will be receiving rewards. Like right here at 500, there were plenty of options that you could have picked from throughout the year, starting at gold and eventually even ending at 99s, like this Gavin Lux card, who was actually really good. As you go, you get these rewards, and everybody's dream and everybody's hope is to make the very exclusive World Series reward, where you can actually pick up any of these cards. Last year, there was Willie Mays, Albert Pujols, Ted Williams, Mike Piazza, Ricky Henderson. The list goes on. A lot of 99 cards, and a lot of them were really good. And eventually, they get to be really expensive, where you can see on the sell now for this Willie Mays that it was actually worth 1 million stubs. So these are very hard cards to get because not that many people make it to World Series. I wish you the best of luck if you do go after World Series, and it's going to be a lot of fun seeing you guys out there on the diamond in ranked seasons. Now we're going to move on to the other two online game modes We're going to talk about events first. It's going to be a little bit different next year because they do change events every year. But for the most part, you have players on your Diamond Dynasty roster. You were able to make a brand new roster in events. They have specific parameters, which kind of make you use different cards that you maybe would never use in a normal situation, which is way more fun in my opinion. You get to see different types of cards that are really, really unique. And you get to have a lot of fun with not just the meta cards. You play games in here to win rewards very similar to how ranked seasons works, except once the event is over, it starts at a certain time and ends at a certain time. Once those are over, there is actually no way to go in and get them back besides the community market. And once they're gone, they're probably going to go up, up, up in price. And then the last online game mode that we need to talk about today is Battle Royale. I'm sure you've heard of Battle Royales in the past. They are a really, really fun game mode for shooters in Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, and all that good stuff. This is a little bit different. In these Battle Royales, you have a team that you draft. And you draft a team, you're given X amount of diamonds. They're going to change it up based off how the year starts. So it's usually 2 diamonds, a bunch of golds, silvers, bronzes, and 2 common cards to make a hodgepodge of players on a team that is not a meta team at all. And you take that team to play other players in hopes to get one of these Battle Royale rewards. How do you get those Battle Royale rewards, you ask? Well, you actually have to go win 12 games in a row without a loss. You have to go flawless, is what they call it. 12-0 flawless in Battle Royale. And if you do that, you have the opportunity to get any one of these cards that are 99 overall, and they are all 1,000,000 stubs. You're going to make a lot of money. This is probably the best way to make money in MLB The Show if you're a good player. If you're not a good player, this is maybe not what you want to go to make stubs. If you want to have fun, it is a lot of fun. It is on a lower difficulty. It is very, very hectic and very stressful, and I don't recommend it for the faint of heart. But this is the Battle Royale game mode, and if you want high stress and you want to make some money, this is where you want to be. Now, if you are not a fan of playing online, but you do still want to play Diamond Dynasty, don't worry, there is still hope. The first method that I will tell you is Conquest. Conquest is where you can go in and there are maps of all different shapes and sizes that you can go in and you can take your team. It's a very, very standard taking over the stronghold kind of a situation. So right here, you'll see I am at the very bottom. I'm going to click and I'm actually able to move my pieces a little bit up and expand the range that we have. As you go over certain things, you get rewards, as you just saw. And this is a really good way to play the game because you're expanding and you're getting rewards as you go. And eventually, when I'm on the way to the Washington Nationals there. When I get there, I can actually play them at their stronghold. You don't have to play them when you hit their normal cells, but when you get to their stronghold, you're going to have to play them. And when you do that, you play their game in a 3-inning game at their stadium with your Diamond Dynasty team that you have set up in the first slot. So that's a great way to actually get a feel for the cards that you have just worked so hard or spent all your stubs on, is to come into Conquest, play against the computer, and you just have a good opportunity on many different difficulties. You can kind of depend based off how many of these fans that you have. Go in there, test out your team, get good rewards. This is one of the best ways to start the year. Hands down, absolutely. There's only going to be 1 or 2 Conquest maps, and I hope everybody watching this goes and does those Conquest maps to start the year. It's going to be worth it, I promise you. Another offline game mode that you can play is Showdown. This is very similar to the Battle Royale game mode where you go in and you pick. I know it looks very hectic because there are a lot of things here, but to start the year, there's only going to be a handful of these showdowns. There will be the first inning and the starter one. So you just want to go in and you can start a draft. The starter draft will be free. Every other draft will cost a little bit of stubs, anywhere from 500 to 1,500 stubs. You start a draft and you enter it and you're able to pick any of these players. You pick them, you add them to your lineup, and you hope that you can complete these moments, which we'll talk more about moments in just a second. But you go in, And these are the moments right here, and you go to beat the moments, hopefully to gain runs, and at the end you see the final showdown. You will go against a final boss of a pitcher with 20 outs. You have 20 outs to beat them in the game, where the score starts 15-0, and after every moment you beat, you get 1 or 2 runs added to your score. So if you do all the moments and you beat all of them before you get to the final boss, you'll likely end up with a tie score, and you'll have 20 outs to score 1 run, and then you kind of subtract points off of there based off the moments you did or didn't do. But this is definitely a challenge, especially last year when nobody really knew what Showdown was or how to beat it. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world, and it was pretty fun. So that's definitely a really good way to practice against high pressure situations with cards that you're not super used to using in the game. And it's a great way to test out brand new cards, because when new inning programs come out, those cards will be 100% guaranteed to be used in the Showdown. So you can even test out cards before you even get them in the Showdown game mode. And the last offline game mode we are going to talk about is Moments. Moments have been in the game for a long time. Moments are really cool. You can tell off these postseason moments that there was actual moments in the postseason. World Series, for example, Kevin Kiermaier gets 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the game. You get to play as Kevin Kiermaier and try and replicate his 2 hits and his 2 RBIs. If you do that, you get some XP, you get some stubs, and when you beat all of the moments, you likely get prizes and cards. This was going towards the World Series Corey Seager card that was in the game last year, and that card was an absolute beast. You're going to see some ones that come out earlier in the year if you go all the way down, and it's Welcome to Moments. These are going to be slightly easier ones that I actually never even finished all of them, and these are really good ways to get early stubs early on in the game, some XP as well, and to just get a feel for the game. This is probably the easiest way to get a feel for the show in a low pressure but kind of fun way to replicate moments that you have seen or heard about throughout history of your favorite players in the game. And so that pretty much wraps up everything I have to tell you guys about Diamond Dynasty at a very base level. I know there was a lot of information there, and we will go more into depth with it when the new game does come out. But I wanted to let all the people who may not know what to expect going into Diamond Dynasty, that these are the things that are likely going to be in the game next year. I really doubt that these things that I went over won't be. I think stubs are going to be pretty similar. Collections, all the game modes that we're going to play are going to pretty much be the same. The primary differences between this year and next year are going to be gameplay and the new cards that are added into it, and a new look, and just the excitement of a brand new season. So let me know if you're excited for the game. Let me know who you are going to be going after day 1 and what game mode that you want to play right out of the gates. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Again, my name is Waifuju. You can go, if you like everything that you saw, you can like and subscribe. That really means a lot. And you can check me out on Twitch. I stream almost every day at twitch.tv/Waifuju. Thank you again, guys, and I'll see you on the Diamond.